Awesome. So hello, everyone, and welcome to the University of the Sciences Occupational Therapy webinar. I'm going to give us just a minute for some of our attendees to continue to trickle in, and then I will introduce our presenter. But welcome. We're going to get started in just a minute and see if some more students show up, and we'll go ahead and get started. Awesome. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our webinar. So hello, my name is Morgan. I'm one of the undergraduate admissions counselors here, and I'm actually going to hand over the presentation today to our Chair of Occupational Therapy, Dr. Walsh.
Hi, everybody. My name is Wendy Walsh. I'm the chair of the Occupational Therapy Department. It's my pleasure to host this webinar tonight. I'd love to bring some information about our department to you so that you have some information to make decisions and fall in love with our department like I am. So I'm an occupational therapist by trade. I actually am a two-time alum from University of the Sciences as well. I received my Master's of Occupational Therapy degree in the year 2000, and then I received my PhD in health policy in 2018. So I really am dedicated to the university, and I love it. I wanted to talk a little bit about our colleges. We have 3 colleges. The Occupational Therapy Department is housed in the Sampson College of Health Sciences. We have Misher College of Arts and Sciences and the Philadelphia College of Pharmacy as the 3 colleges that make up our university. Our Sampson College of Health Science has a lot of hands-on professions. So we have occupational therapy, physical therapy, exercise science, and physician assistant studies. We are dedicated to crafting the next generation of health professionals, working with prevention and intervention for the health of the citizens of the United States. We prepare our health science students for health professions, and in the careers that we have within Sampson College, occupational therapy is really one of the trending profession, but really one of the top professions that address people as they function in their daily lives. So if that's something that appeals to you, occupational therapy is definitely a good choice. We do a lot of hands-on learning. Here's some of our students doing some daily activities like laundry. You might think laundry is very mundane, but it is a lot of combination between motor elements, cognitive elements, or how you think about tasking, and being able to actually execute whatever the activity or task at hand is. We have a pediatric simulation laboratory. I'll talk about that in a little while. We have our BTE laboratory, which is work hardening and other rehabilitative machinery. And there's lots of faculty-student collaboration for research projects and a lot of hands-on laboratories. We have a great number of intervention courses, which brings the laboratory to you. And we have fieldwork experiences, which brings you to the external laboratory or fieldwork within the Philadelphia area and beyond. There's lots of places where occupational therapists work. So you might think of the traditional places like hospitals or nursing homes or even schools, but really occupational therapists work almost everywhere because people are engaged in doing their daily activities all the time. So we work in private practice, we might work in mental health facilities, and we might also work in people's homes specifically. So we do home care. Lots of diagnoses that we can treat. Again, if you're having trouble with your daily activities, you'd want to harness the profession of occupational therapy to help with that. So whether it's a learning disability, a hand dysfunction, a mental health issue, or something more traditional like arthritis, stroke, or a movement disorder, occupational therapists can help with that too. We have a nationally recognized faculty. They come from, there's 14 of us. We come from diverse backgrounds of practice, different training and educations. Some of us have entry-level terminal degrees, some of us have PhDs, and we use that to harness success for students. We have faculty and students who have presented at regional, national, and international conferences. We've had 2 faculty that presented in South Africa the last time our World Federation of Occupational Therapy conference was held. And prior to that, 2 faculty also presented in Tokyo, Japan. Our faculty are consultants, so not only do we teach education, but sometimes our services are consulted out. So we have done some advice work for the federal government, local businesses, and we do a lot of community integration work as well. So what could you expect when you come to occupational therapy at University of the Sciences? Well, you're first going to start your education on a very well-ranked healthcare job. First of all, you'll also be able to facilitate and engage with your peers, your local community, and beyond, spreading the word of occupational therapy and the things that we can help our clients to do. There are 3 different entry options. I'm going to concentrate today on the direct entry option, which is those coming from high school level into our accelerated program. But you should know that we have a scaffolded learning construction to our curriculum, which means that we look at learners as developmental beings. So we scaffold the information for you so that you can build your depth over time. And we also have a philosophy of learning by doing. So we're very hands-on. Again, I can't say that enough, but really we put you in the shoes of both the therapist and the clients too. We like to let our students learn in many different modes. We have many fieldwork opportunities. I'm going to tell you that our program has probably the most fieldwork of all of the local programs, at least here. We offer 5 intervention courses and as well 5 fieldwork courses. And often those fieldwork experiences are tied directly to didactic coursework so that the information makes sense to you and you can use it and play with it and become skilled in the things we're trying to teach you. There's, like I said, there's 2 terminal degrees that we offer. One is a Master's of Occupational Therapy. I'm not going to talk about that today. It is a post-baccalaureate degree. But I'm going to talk about the Doctor of Occupational Therapy, which has 2 entry points. One in year 1 or undergraduate year 1, that would be like a freshman coming into college. And then there is a post-baccalaureate entry too. So if you had gone on and gotten your degree somewhere else, you could still come to University of the Sciences and complete our professional program years. Both programs, the DROT and the MOT, are fully accredited. In fact, we've just had our self-study on-site for our accreditor in January, right before the pandemic. And we're granted 10-year accreditation status for our DROT program. So we are really happy about that. Admissions told me to the OT-CAS application deadline is just for post-baccalaureate students, just to mention that, but I don't know that it's applicable. Our philosophy on education has to do with occupation as the core. People are engaged in occupations of all sorts. It's not just jobs you have, it's the jobs you do to live. So caring for yourself, caring for others, being able to engage in different contexts are the things that we hold at the center of our curriculum. We also think that health and well-being are at the center of that, right? We want to promote health and well-being of all individuals in different contexts. And the biopsychosocial beings, or humans as we call them, as our clients. So we look at all of those factors within the people whom we treat. Also, student as a developmental learner. We don't expect you to learn everything all at once. We do expect you to learn it all though. And we use that scaffolding to get you from point A to point G, which I like to say is point graduation. We have 5 curricular emphases, clinical reasoning, critical thinking, innovation, engagement, and cultural competency. Those emphases are interwoven into all of our classes so that when it comes time to graduate, you have a real deep understanding of what those mean in terms of your future career and the practice that you'll be doing as an occupational therapist. So we do have a 3.0 minimum GPA cumulative in your undergraduate years in order to move on to this or through the first 3 undergraduate years. And that 3.0 should be in your prerequisite courses too. If you need a list of those prerequisite courses, they're on our website. And you'll be engaged in the undergraduate years for 3 years, and then the professional years for 3 condensed years. So I point that out because they are condensed. They are anywhere from 18 to 19 credits a semester. That inclusive of summers. They're a little bit less intensive. But in order to achieve what we need to get the information to you and be able to complete a capstone project, it will take 3 professional years to do that. Just going to go ahead. What our professional years look like? Well, the undergraduate years are all of the prerequisites and the other general education requirements that you need in order to get your bachelor's and then doctorate degrees. Once you enter the professional years, so there's 3 of them, first year you'll focus on foundational courses, evidence-based practice, and really develop an understanding of what occupational therapy does and can do for our clients. Year 2, we move to intervention. And we also, at the end of year 2, move into clinical field training. So typically those are our field works. Each OT program, regardless of your terminal degree, requires that you have 2 12-week internships or field works under the supervision of an OTR or an occupational therapist who's registered and licensed in the state that they're working in. Those are unpaid. Every single OT program has the same requirement, and we help with placements of those level 2 experiences. Some people might have questions about how has COVID impacted our fieldwork level 2s. Well, it has. I'm not gonna downplay that, but we've really been able to bounce back and with minimal delays to student progression. The sites understand that they need to take our students. Every school is having these same challenges, and we're really coping as best we're able to help our students graduate as quickly and as on track as possible. And I have to give a shout out to our fieldwork department. They're doing a really wonderful job. After year 2, we're into year 3, which is the professional program development or research, or what would traditionally be called a capstone project. You have a year to complete that. And that's from soup to nuts. It is individual work. Thus, each student has an individual research question that they answer, and they have an advisor to help them with that. It is a lot of work. It is worth it in the end. Our graduates have gone on to really accomplish some great things based on their training as a DROT practitioner. What's the advantage? It's a 6-year advantage. So coming in as a freshman, if you stay on track and you do your work and you progress, you will graduate in 6 years with your DROT. And really that's a fantastic advantage for a lot of people. Here's some pictures of our laboratory. So on the right, there's like some traditional in classroom laboratories where we bring some clients in to do some assessments. So this picture is depicting that. And then on the left-hand side, we have our students that have gone out to places like SEPTA and discovered in a laboratory type setting what it's like to access the paratransit and the disability services that SEPTA has. So they came to campus on this particular photo, I believe, but now I believe we go to SEPTA. They have a larger facility. I talked a little bit about level 1 and level 2 fieldworks. Level 1 are the 5 courses associated with classes. We construct those for you. Some of it is virtual, some of it is alternative style. Some of it is more traditional. It depends on what the course is and what the context allows. We've had a little shift to that these days, but it's actually caused us to discover some really meaningful learning modes that we hadn't accessed before. So that's been a really nice benefit to all of the craziness of the COVID pandemic. You'll focus on basic clinical skills, and then you'll work up to working with an OT practitioner in settings. Here's some more fieldwork information. Again, I mentioned SEPTA. We work with Gilda's Club and the cancer support community. Archway in New Jersey and the Arc of Camden County routinely take our students for laboratory / field work experiences. We try to give our students a well-rounded experience so that you've been exposed to different populations and different setting types. Oops. Oh, there we go. Oh, it has a video. There we go. So I do have videos to show you, but given the constraint of time, I made sure I copied the title of the YouTube video. Just wanted to talk a second about these. Oh, it might start. Oh, I didn't plan on that. Okay. So this is Rocksteady Boxing. It's held in the suburbs of outside of Philadelphia. Where our OT students actually engaged once a week for a number of weeks. We had students rotate through so that everybody got the same amount of time and the same exposure to this unique and different fieldwork experience where they were exposed to those that have Parkinson's and Parkinson's-like syndromes. And the principle behind Rocksteady Boxing is that if you're engaged in loud and big movements, it overrides the body's the condition of Parkinson's to keep the body at slow and little movements. So it's counterproductive. I don't think that's the right word, to the disease progression, and has halted and slowed down that progression for the students that attend Rocksteady Boxing. So our students actually were able to experience that. Phenomenal. We definitely will do that again. Okay, so you can search that if you're watching this at a later date than tonight. OT students help Rocksteady Boxing class. That's what it's called on YouTube. Oops, there we go. Also on YouTube, you can search for USciences graduate students gain hands-on experience in Costa Rica. This is an international experience. Generally, it's an elective course that you might take with the advantage of going internationally. So we have 2 international programs, one currently to Costa Rica and the other was set to go to Guatemala. They were canceled this year in 2020. We hope to reinstate them for 21, definitely for 22. During these hands-on experiences, you get to experience other cultures, other resources, other problems, and really a healthcare system that's very different from our own. We've done some research at both places that has really brought some notoriety to the name of USciences. So it's been really great. Both of those experiences are interprofessional. So Costa Rica works with physical therapy and occupational therapy, and our Guatemala trip was pharmacy students and occupational therapy students. So you do get a different perspective, and it's really pretty phenomenal. The last YouTube video that I wanted to highlight but not show is our students get hands-on experience in new pediatric occupational therapy lab. This lab was opened at the end of last year, beginning of this year. It's a phenomenal space within Sampson College where we can do pediatric research. We can also do pediatric treatment and observe the treatment that's happening. There's like an audiovisual suite within the site that's elevated, and you can actually record and look and hear what's happening on the floor. We have a rock climbing wall, we have a ball pit, we have a whole section for manipulatives and other sensory motor interventions, activities, that kind of stuff. This also is on our Department of Occupational Therapy webpage on the USciences website, so you can easily locate that here, but it's been a real nice advantage to our program. Professional development of our students happens throughout the years that you're involved. We have groups like SOTA, our Student OT Association. We have our Pi Theta Epsilon, which is a chapter of the National OT Honor Society. We actually just had our induction for the newest class last night. So that's still going on. And all of these add to student presentations at the international, national, and regional conferences. We've had 3 of our graduates actually were awarded a Children's Hospital of Philadelphia fellowship. That is post-graduation. They apply for it, and it's competitive across the United States. Applicants come from everywhere. And over the last 4 years, I think we had 2 fellows and 1 applicant who I don't know that they made they actually got it. The joys of working from home. It's the one thing I can't control. I'm very, very sorry. We also have AOTF, which if you must know, it was probably my expired warranty on my car. Anyway, we have AOTF scholarship, which is the American Occupational Therapy Foundation offers scholarships to OT students. We have students that have received some of those, and they can be upwards of $1,000. And really, you just have to apply to them and be enrolled in a occupational therapy program. There's some other criteria, but those are the basics. One other achievement that we have from the DROT program is that one of our 2017 graduates is actually the Pi Theta Epsilon National President. So Pi Theta Epsilon, like I said before, is the National OT Honor Society, and it's national. So she actually governs the entire Honor Society across the US. She lives in Chicago now, but has remained connected to USciences, and it's really quite an achievement that we have somebody at the national level like that, who is one of our DROT graduates. I wanted to talk a little bit about successful outcomes, which is our pass rates, because often applicants and students and parents want to know about what's the success of your program. And I'm really, really happy to point out that our 2019 pass rate, first time pass rate on our national certifying board exam, which every single graduate of an OT school, if they want to get a license, needs to pass this test. It's a high stakes, cumulative board certifying exam. We had 100% pass rate for both of our MOT and DROT classes. And if you look at our DROT pass rate over the last 4 years, I think you can agree with me that we're pretty proud of that. 100% is nothing to sneeze at. So clearly our students are learning what they need to learn, and they're really excelling in what they know. Annual starting salary for an OT is pretty good. It doesn't come without sacrifice. The coursework is rigorous, and you have to be prepared for that. And you have to have a dedication to the profession itself. One of the things I always tell undergraduate students is like, I'm happy to welcome you into the OT department, but why do you want to be an OT? If you want to be an OT for the salary, you probably don't want to go through the program, and we probably don't want you there. If you want to be in a program where you're going to learn how to make someone's life better, how to be creative, how to use your knowledge of math and science and biology and statistics, communication, psychology, then this might be the profession for you. Also, and thank you to COVID too, is that the necessity and demand for occupational therapists is really on the rise. It was on the rise to begin with, but really there's a new opened market there. So we anticipate good job growth over the next little bit of time. So that's my presentation. I know I spoke very quickly. I needed to get it down to a half an hour, and I think I'm at 27 minutes and 1 phone call later. So I hope I've answered the majority of your questions. I'm happy to take any questions. I know this is a webinar, so I'll be happy to answer what I can if I didn't answer what I needed to. So.
Awesome. So students who have any questions, you are more than welcome to put those into the Q&A feature below. However, if you don't have any questions right now, or if you think you're going to have questions later, you can reach out to us by reaching out to the admissions office. So I believe we put into the chat below our email. So the admissions office email is admit, which is ADMIT @usciences.edu. So any questions you have, you can feel free to throw that over to the admissions email, and we'll be happy to get to those for you.
I think I had, nope, not that. Okay. I thought I had it there, but I don't.
Sometimes there, sometimes not. I never know.
Yeah, I mean, students may be inquiring like, do you do, do you do open houses on campus? And of course, we'll do that when it's safe and we're able to do that. We had some earlier on. I'm sure we'll have some next semester at some point. If USciences speaks to you, definitely, make it a priority. You can always visit our campus in super small groups. So.
For sure. And we actually have a virtual open house coming up on
Okay.
December 5th, which is
Okay.
this Saturday. Yeah. So if you guys do want to join that, you totally can. You'll learn a lot more broader information about the university. And then you can also learn more about OT as well, or another program. You might be interested in some other programs as well. And then I did see one question. The question is, will the presentation be distributed? So yes, we are recording our presentations today. Those should be available on our website within the next couple of days, I believe. So if you do want to check out any other programs, we have done similar webinars for other majors. So if you do want to check out any other programs, there are recordings of webinars on there.
Great.
Awesome. I think that's it. So if we don't have any other questions, like I said, students, if you do have anything else you'd like to go over, you're more than welcome to email the admissions office and we're more than happy to get to your questions. But otherwise, thanks so much for coming. Hope you have a great night and we really appreciated you stopping by.
Right. Thanks for your time, everybody. Hope to see you soon.
Thanks.